Alright, so how do we do a multiple? When you're working in feature film, you might have a separate rig. So if you're going to be doing a lot of multiples with an arm, you'll have a separate rig of an arm that you can bend and use and implement. But when you don't have that luxury, you have to do it manually. So there's a few ways you can do a multiple, and I'm going to show you here now. So first, you got to identify where you want your multiple. So I want it here. I want to have one here. So what I can do is I can set a key here on the leg, right, and keep it there. Or what I can do is move it to where I want the multiple, and then shape it how I want to shape it. And then copy it, and then delete it. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just shaping this, and I'm doing it kind of nice the first time, because once you duplicate it, you only get the one time to do it. After that, you have to restart. So just trying to prevent having to restart. But at the same time, for the sake of this tutorial, it's not about getting it absolutely perfect. However, I just get a little bit fiddly. You know, I think that's something as well. If you want to be an animator, you got to be somewhat OCD, because you got to want to get things kind of how they should be, at least a little bit. That's a bug. Thought we fixed that. Alright, so let's say now I'm happy with this. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate the geometry. And we need to make the geometry selectable. Okay, so by default it will be off. And so we just need to geotype normal. So now we can select the geo, and Shift D, remember it's not copy and paste. And so now we have the legs here. Okay, now we just have to select these faces. And delete them, because we only want the one. Okay, so this is where the leg was. Now, let's put it back where I wanted it, which was down here. Right? So, what we have to do now is also, I don't want the leg. So we select the face. Oops. Select the face, and we can come a few frames up just so we can select it easily. Shift, hold Shift and use the full stop key to grow your selection. And delete, right? Because that's what I want. And then that's cool. So now I've got this. This is my multiple, and I can put it wherever I want. So now that I've got it, you have to just unlock this. Unlock selected, modify center pivot. Don't know if that does the trick. Yeah, it did. Cool. So there we are. Put it there. So you set a key on it, and you set the visibility to on, and then one frame before you turn it off, and then one frame after you turn it off. But in this case, I do want it off, but I do want another one as well. So I'm just going to come here, Shift D, and I'm going to move it down into here and rotate it as well. Unlock selected, and then just bring these up a little bit. See how that plays. Remember, you need to switch it off. Set 0 on 0. Okay. So let's see how that plays. Not very clear, to be honest. I think we need to drag it out a bit more. Oh, it could be cool. Shift D. Unlock. Maybe a little one like this. My scale is a bit too small. Alright, so Z, bring it forward. Going to just try it like that, and then Shift D again. Just have another one like there. Shrink this one down a bit. Unlock selected. What I'll show you now is the next way to deform it. So rather than doing the deformation with the rig and then copying it, you can add what's called a lattice deformer. And oops. What that does is gives you some flexibility. So 3, 3, 3, 3 is fine. That's just how many sections. Control Z. I think that maybe 4 would have been better. But let's see. Then you want to do lattice point, and you want to set a key for default because you can't. There's nothing to reset really. So here now we can just start deforming the foot. Just turn off this. Cool. So I'm just going to hide the deformer now. And remember, oops, we want the visibility set on, set off, set off. Set on, set off, set off. Now we should be able to read that a bit better. Yeah, here's better. just going to shrink my timeline so it's moving quicker. Alright, so what's the next thing we can do? We can do the same on the way up if you want. For example, you could Shift D here. You could do it there. We do need to fix this foot here. Alright. So now we can do maybe a wing as well. Just kind of see which wing we want though. I think that one. Shift D. And unlock everything. Unlock, unlock, unlock. So this might be one that was better to do the wing thing. So you could open another rig as well and just get the pose you want. I'd like to let's just see how it looks. It might look bad, it might look good, it might work, it might not. It's not really the shape that you want. Yeah, it's not so bad. Some things I like to do as well is the eyes. I'm not sure if it's going to suit this animation or not. So let's see. Like this. It might not look good, but it's worth a try. Everything is always worth a try. I think animation, unlock selected. Unlock selected. Animation is something we should always try. If you have an idea, it's worth trying. It's like Ricky Gervais said, if you're gonna make someone laugh, it's worth saying, even if you think it may not be funny, or something. That he's got a quote along those lines. Alright, this is the glossy thing, which is important to cover because when you render, you do want that. So now where do we want it? There is fine, but we don't want it in front of his hair. Oh, I've got the hair as well. So I put this back on ref, so I don't select it. Oh, this goes with it. Dang, okay, that's cool. Normal. I just will be careful not to select it. bit weird. Let's go here. 6. Oh, so annoying. It's like that, is it? Okay. So I just need to unlock. I thought that was the case. Off. On, off. Let's just see. You know, this is one of those times where it may not be necessary, but we can try. Squash them down. Shift D. Unlock. Move them across. And out. So I'm just, yeah, like this is just showing you how, right? So sometimes it may not be worth using it. Other times it might be. This might be too much. Maybe they don't need to down here. Yeah, something like that. I think it's cool, but I think what's cool is without that. And then. Let's see. So here you can see the rule that is breaking, right? So remember, this is where my mouse is the max that it was, and you see that is now past it, so that is too high, right? And then this, you don't want it to be smack in the middle, so I'm just going to favor it here with a tiny bit, maybe. That should be fine. That's cool. Alright, so now we'll just look what else we can do. Like I'm really pushing this tiny shot as much as possible to kind of show you how to do this. Just creating a more appealing pose there. thing I can think of doing is deleting these because they were really bad. Just getting this a bit better. So for example, if we just copy this wing instead, alright, Shift D, and just unlock everything, unlock, move, and then now I'm just going to Shift D, so I have two, and then I'll select the faces of this one. No, it's not possible. I just want one. That's fine. What I'll do is I'll use a complex lattice. So for example, this one, deform lattice, but because I want to have individual control of each part of each side, I'm just going to do something like 10, 10, 10. Oh gosh. Apply. Alright. Now remember, we can't see the lattice right now. So now I can get in a bit closer. Select the lattice. I'm just going to make it so I can't select this anymore. It is super hard to see. I don't really know if what I'm doing is good. It's part of the fun. Yeehaw. What I'll do is I'll have two windows side by side. This one will show no deformers. This one will show deformers. So I can see what's going on. Tricky thing, but perhaps worth getting right. As you can see, I've really busted up this deformer. Let's just hit play and see how it looks. So show deformers, bring this across. Now we need to animate them on and off, right? So where do we want it? how it's moving through the lattice. That's important to know. If you want to move it, you have to move the lattice. Let's just see how it looks. Off, oops. Off, on, off. Not working. I think that one's pretty ugly. So maybe we just try this one. Stretch it out like that. It's probably the better option for sure. I don't actually really like the wings here either, so let's fix them. Yeah, I prefer the way they were, to be honest. So let's just copy this key. Right. This, whatever's going on here, let's just put it back. And I think there's a nicer way to do this. There might be here with the multiple. I'm just going to separate objects with modeling, mesh, separate. So now that I should be able to move that by itself. See, you can feel that now without seeing it, which is cool. Alright, so in the next video, we'll just polish this shot up. We'll get it all done. We'll make it all nice. We'll get everything kind of appealing, and we can call it a wrap. Yeah, she's super capable, this rig. So even when it comes to, we haven't even touched the jaw or done anything with the mouth, but she's just got such an appealing, yeah, she's sick. She's sick. So I'll see you in the next video. Any questions, just post them in the comments or send us an email.